Hello everyone, Kit here, back from the video. Today if you guys are going to be reading the Wikipedia page, Alessandro de Medici, Duke of Florence. I'll leave a link to down in the description box below, along with our email. You can email us at themuzzy@gmail.com for private consultation. Without further ado, let me get right into it. Alessandro de Medici, 22nd of July 1510 to January 6, 1537, nickname El Moro, the Moor, due to his dark complexion, Duke of Pini, and also the Duke of Florence from 1532, was ruler of Florence from 1531 to his death in 1537, the first Medici to rule Florence as a hereditary monarch. Alessandro was also the last Medici from the senior line of the family to lead the city. His assassination at the hands of a distant cousin, Lorenzo, caused the Duchy of Florence to pass to Cosimo I de' Medici from the family's junior branch. Life. Born in Florence, he was recognized as the majority of his contemporaries as the only son Lorenzo de' Medici II, grandson of Lorenzo de' Medici the Magnificent. A few believed him to be in fact the legitimate son of Gallo de' Medici, later Pope Clement VI, nephew of Lorenzo the Magnificent. But at the time he was a minority view. Alessandro's nickname, El Moro, the Moor, is said to derive from his features. Some historians, such as Christopher Hilbert, believe he had been born to a servant of African descent who was working in the Medici household, identified in documents as Simone da Calavisio. The French author Jean Nestor, writing in the 1560s, reported that the claim of a Moorish slave origin was a false rumor first spread by Alessandro's exiled enemies in Naples. When Emperor Charles V sacked Rome in 1527, a faction of Florentines took advantage of the turmoil in Italy to reinstall the Florentine Republic. Both Alessandro and Leopoldo de' Medici fled along with most of the Medici and their main supporters, including Cardinal Cavallo Pasquini, the regent for young Alessandro, and the Ippolito, and the de facto ruler of Florence, Pope Clement VI. 8-year-old Catherine de' Medici was left behind. Michelangelo then occupied in creating a funerary chapel for the Medici. It initially took charge of building fortifications around Florence in support of the Republic. However, he later fled the city, fearing retribution. Eventually, Clement made his peace with the emperor, and in the summer of 1530, following a lengthy siege supported by imperial troops, the Medici were restored to power. In 1530, Clement VI assigned Florence to a 19-year-old Alessandro, choosing him for the position over Ippolito. The latter was made a cardinal. In the meantime, Alessandro had become Duke of Pini, an appointment purchased from the emperor. He arrived in Florence to take up his rule on 5th of July 1531, and 9 months later was made hereditary Duke of Florence by Charles V, as Tuscany lay outside the Papal States. This signaled the end of the Republic. In 1530, an assessment debated by historians, one relic of his rule sometimes pointed out as a symbol of oppression is the massive Fortezza di Basso, a fortress that is today the largest historical monument of Florence. In 1535, the Florentine opposition sent his cousin Ippolito to appeal to Emperor Charles V against some of his actions of the Duke, but Ippolito died en route. Rumors spread that he had been poisoned at Alessandro's orders. In a late replay of the kind of medieval civil politics that long revolved around Pope and Emperor, commune and lord, Emperor Charles V supported Alessandro against the Florentine exiles. In 1536, Charles V married his natural daughter Margaret of Austria to Alessandro. For his own inclinations, Alessandro seems to have remained faithful to one mistress, Tadida Malazepina, who bore his only children, Galata de Medici, who also had a legitimate issue, and Galata de Medici. Death. In 1537, his distant cousin Lorenzo de Medici, nicknamed Lorenzo Seno, Bad Lorenzo, assassinated him. This event is the subject of Alfred de Musset's play Lorenzano. Lorenzano extracts Alessandro through the ruse of a promise-arranged sexual encounter with Lorenzo's sister, Ladodorma, a beautiful widow. For fear of starting an uprising if news of his death got out, Mancini officials wrapped Alessandro's corpse in a carpet and secretly carried it to the cemetery of San Lorenzo, where it was hurriedly buried. In Valladolid, Spain, where the imperial court of Charles V was established, a solemn funeral was celebrated. Lorenzo, in a declaration published later, said that he had killed Alessandro for the sake of the Republic. When the anti-Medici falcon failed to rise, Lorenzo fled to Venice, where he was killed in 1548. The Medici supporters called Palascini from the balls on Medici's arms ensured that power then passed to Cosimo de' Medici, the first junior branch of the Medici to rule Florence. Alessandro was survived by two natural children of Tadia's, a son Giuliano, aged 4 at the time of his father's death, married to Lorenzo Gantini, and daughter Grella, married firstly to Francesco Calimto, the Duke of Popolini, and then Bernardino de Medici, the Prince of Orleans. And yeah, that's it, guys. I'll leave a link to this down in the description box below. If you're looking for email, you can email us at themuzzy@gmail.com for a private consultation. I'll see you guys next video. Like, share, subscribe, and yeah.